it's all about how do you do that? Walking the path of grace. And it requires something of you, a lot of effort and practice. And the practice is called renunciation. And coming to an ashram, coming to a community, coming to take a course even, you've had to practice that. There's a different structure, there's a different time, there's a different way of thinking, there's a different language, there's a different direction sometimes. And that's the focus of the ashram. These are the blessings. Because if you're human and recognize the privilege of having a human birth, and you also want liberation, and you also find the teachings, there you have 3 blessings. So it's difficult to obtain. So just knowing that you've been born with that opportunity, then how do you begin to trust that you do have those 3 blessings? And how do you find that place within yourself, but not only within yourself, but behind everything? And that's what we try to practice here, that trust has to come from suspending your own judgments about everything and seeing what is happening. Taking the time to reflect together, taking the time to do your practice yourself, taking time to reflect on what is happening. Often around Swami Radha there'd be so many diverse things happening and so many contradictory things happening, but they were all unique to the situation that was happening. There wasn't a rule set down. She was aware of what was happening and something was required. And if you were around her and could suspend judgment, you would see what would happen, the progress or the challenge or the opportunity offered to that person. But you could not, at least I couldn't at first, in my minimal awareness, recognize what was happening. But if I waited and saw what happened and saw how it worked, then I began to trust. So it's that ability to not have to figure out something or fix something or manipulate something. It's our tendency to make sure that we have control of a little empire, a little situation, a little plot, a little project. To move away from that survival mode and embrace the life around you, to embrace the people around you, to embrace that part of you that knows, like to step back and say, I need your help, just like we chanted to Divine Mother in all those various forms. So you need tenderness, you know who to go to. You need something, you know who to go to. You just say, sit down at the harmonium and chant. So you trust that part's going to respond in the silence. And you accept who you are. If there is a treasure, it's that divine in all of us. And that treasure has a price. If you want to achieve it, sometimes it's called the pearl, and the pearl has a price. It may be the price that you put up with all the irritations. It may be the price that you have to put out. Or it may be the price that you have to go in and leave things. You have to know that with that preciousness within you, you are looked after. When you direct your life towards your goal, it seems like it falls into place. Eventually. So there may be many things you have to learn before you get to the first goal. And then when you get to the first goal, you move on. Swami Radha said to me, when you know something, then don't do it anymore. Find the next thing that you have to learn and do. So it's always that willingness. So there's trust and there's willingness. And there's willingness to see what is. And to know that you will do it. To give up your cherished beliefs. Turn them upside down like you do in Hatha Yoga. And see what's really there for you. Who are you? Do you really believe in that treasure? Do you really believe in that divine essence that the treasure is? Do you really trust that there's something more than your mind? Because like everything comes in through our mind and senses, and you know it's being trained for a certain way. So you have to retrain it to discover the design of the divine in every moment. And sometimes it's very clear. And sometimes you have to give up something that you want in order to get what you really, really need. So that commitment is part of the willingness. That commitment, that willingness to commit to something that you have experienced. And so through all the workshops and what you find out about yourself, what you hear from your own small voice, that is what you begin to trust. That's the willingness, that's the commitment. Someone can present it to you, but you have to do the work. And you need to care about the opportunities and the life that you have. So whatever happens, there's an opportunity comes, there's a life adventure, there's something, it's yours, and you care for it. And then you learn to care deeply about your divine self. It's there in the deepest part of you. And then you learn to care deeply about the people around you, and deeply about the people you don't know, and deeply and deeply, and you keep expanding your heart, caring deeply. Often we just go, this is the person, this is the place, this is what I have to do. But you have to keep expanding. Once you have that foundation from earth to heaven. And then you have to be ready for change. Because what if you do change? It's so exciting. But those habits are hard to break. So you have to keep asking for help. But even when you have a little bit of change, you feel that sense of liberation coming in, that freedom. That you're not stuck in a habitual way of living your life. Something else opens up. You begin to see what needs to be done before even anybody asks you. So you become the master of your life. And it's not an authority outside of you. It's not somebody telling you what to do or finding out what you have done. It's you saying, I learned from this, I'm going on. I've changed. It was a terrible situation. It was a wonderful situation. It made me change. So you keep on changing till you become that part just is you. There's no separation. And you act on that. So you're on the path of grace. Be grateful, trust, be willing, and have the courage to change. Namah Shivaya.